We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin. Last night, Biden delivered his State of the Union address, an address that inadvertently showcased the problems with his administration. To start with, this was an historic State of the Union address. Never before has the president's own party felt the need to rebut the State of the Union. Representative Rashida Tlaib, the Democrat from Michigan and chair of the Progressive Caucus, thumped Biden for failing to pass his Build Back Better agenda, which includes large aspects of the Green New Deal. She claimed enacting Green New Deal-like policies would increase union jobs, a goal Biden has promised to deliver. Tlaib is essentially throwing a temper tantrum that the progressive goals are being slapped down around the country. She has failed to understand that progressives are a loud but small minority of the country. This is not the first time they have had to deal with this. During the first 2 years of his administration, Bill Clinton was the darling of the left. After massive losses in the midterm elections, he pivoted and angered the left by becoming much more centrist and working with moderates and Republicans. That strategy won him his second term. Will Biden do the same after a shellacking later this year? That remains to be seen. During the speech, the president essentially doubled down on his failed agenda and backed it up with lies and misinformation. He cited that the COVID stimulus bill, called America's Rescue Plan, helped people deal with rising inflation. Even before the bill passed, economists told the administration that it would cause runaway inflation. There was no runaway inflation when the bill was passed. It is a result of greatly increased government spending. He also trotted out the old discredited lie that the tax cuts under the Trump administration were only geared towards the top 1%. According to IRS files, 82% of Americans received tax relief under that bill. On the energy front, Biden refused to reverse his disastrous policies, which have not only led to higher energy prices, but have led to America purchasing more energy from Russia, providing Putin with the funds to continue the Ukrainian invasion. His concession was to release 30 million barrels of oil from the strategic reserve, combining with other countries for a total of 60 million barrels. This is the equivalent of a day and a half of energy. The markets responded to this with the price of oil skyrocketing on the announcement, exactly the opposite effect that Biden had hoped for. While Biden received applause 91 times, audience response was clearly scripted to make Biden look better. This became very obvious when the camera caught Chuck Schumer standing up before the scripted moment, quickly sitting back down and standing back up when the scripted moment arrived. Despite being heavily scripted, Biden still managed to screw up, saying early on that American troops would not fight Ukraine and confusing the Ukrainians and the Iranians. Speaking about Ukraine, Biden claimed far more credit than deserved. He has followed the European nations, not led. While he has refused to put sanctions on Russia's energy sector, companies like BP and Shell have stepped forward and cut off Russian joint ventures to the cost to themselves of many billions of dollars. The hacker group Anonymous has blocked Russian communications. Elon Musk has provided free internet access via Starlink, keeping Putin from cutting off access to real information. And video streaming services have cut off state-sponsored channels, keeping Putin from capitalizing on propaganda. And of course, the Ukrainian people themselves have stood up to the Russian forces far more effectively than the Biden administration expected. Biden did concede that the U.S. southern border needs to be secured, but showed no sign of changing his policies to actually do so. Biden gave no indication that he would pivot away from any of his policies, including the massive spending that the majority of Americans oppose. Now, earlier in the week, Joe Manchin stated that he will not vote for the Democrats' massive spending bills, which leaves Biden with no accomplishments and no path forward. That was the State of the Union, and that's the raw naked truth. If you have a topic you'd like us to look into, you can contact us at xvadio.com/connect. You can hear us as well as the rest of the Xvadio podcast network at xvadio.com/podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.